I
disagree.
stand
We
up
can
for
disagree
yourself.
about
You don't
this,
have
but
to
we don't
defend
have
this.
to call
He's
each other
leaving
names.
office. You don't have to defend it. You don't have to die on this hill. You can say this is wrong because
I'm
everybody
fine with
knows
it,
that it is.
Scott. That's why I'm
It's
defending
wrong.
it.
Are you
Karen?
fine with the lying? Are you
I say
fine
good
with
for
him
Joe
sitting
Biden.
before the election all year and lying to the American people? Are you fine with the lying about it?
I don't think that he was lying. I think he made a decision after the fact and decided this was the right thing for him and for his family. Period. Full stop.
Your kids get sick, you take a week off, and the delusional people on the left are wondering why everyone's upset that Joe Biden just pardoned his son, Hunter Biden, when him and his staff made it very clear that pardoning wasn't on the table.
First briefing since Hunter was indicted again in Los Angeles. Why doesn't President Biden just pardon him?
President, I've been very clear. The president's not going to pardon his
And
son.
one more.
His son, Hunter, is also up for being sentenced next month. Does the president have any intention of pardoning him?
We've been asked that question multiple times. Our answer stands, which is no.
But from a presidential perspective, is there any possibility that the president would end up pardoning his son?
No.
Well, is there?
I just said no. I just answered.
President Biden says that he's not going to pardon his son, Hunter. Is he going to ask Donald Trump to do that?
I don't have anything else to share about that. I'm not going to go down a rabbit hole on this. I've been very clear. The president's been very clear when we've been asked this question.
As we sit here in Normandy, your son Hunter is on trial, and I know that you cannot speak about an ongoing federal prosecution. But let me ask you, will you accept the jury's outcome, their verdict, no matter what it is?
Yes.
And have you ruled out a pardon for your son?
Yes.
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
The president would not pardon or commute sentences for his son, Hunter. I just want to make sure that that is not going to change over the next 6 months. The president's saying he would not.
It's still a no. It's still a no.
It will always be a no.
It's still a no. It will be a no. It is a no. And I don't have anything else to add. Will he pardon his son? No.
And has learned President Biden will pardon his son, Hunter Biden.
Now, I'm sure most of you have seen a lot of these clips by now, and this did not age very well for Karine Jean-Pierre. However, she tried to defend Joe Biden and his decision yet again when she was on Air Force One being questioned by some reporters again today, and this is what she had to say.
You have said repeatedly yourself since the election, the president has said for months, no pardon was coming. I wanted to ask you, could those statements now be seen as lies from the American people? Is there really a credibility issue here given now this announcement?
First of all, one of the things that the president always believes is to be truthful to the American people. That is something that he always truly believes.
I'm honest.
He said he came to this decision this weekend, and he said he wrestled with this.
Now, Karine makes a claim that Joe wrestled with this, and she also states that in his lengthy message, this is something that he wrote if you got to a certain paragraph. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't really believe anything that is written by Joe Biden when we've clearly found to see that she herself has written things for him, thinking it was on his Twitter account, but she actually posted it on her account.
Not only can he not come up with a response to wildfires within 8 days, he can't tweet for himself either. Now, the press secretary for the President of the United States, Karine Jean-Pierre, sent out a little tweet on behalf of the President today, which read, "Investing in America means investing in all of America. When I ran for President, I made a promise that I would leave no part of the country behind." The only problem, as you might see at the top of the screen there, is that tweet came from Jean-Pierre herself. It didn't come from the president because, of course, she's pulling all the strings and she's putting out the tweet.
That, to me, is clear evidence that he probably doesn't run any of his social media, doesn't write anything. He just is there as the robot he is, repeating everything that people have written for him.
And because he believes in the justice system, but he also believes that the war politics infected the process and led to a miscarriage of justice.
Now, what I find to be interesting is that he had just finished saying in the earlier interview clip that you saw that he would respect the decision of the jury no matter what. And he also said that he would never try to change or coerce the Justice Department on any sort of decisions that they would make.
Mr. President, what do you say to Americans to convince them that they should trust the independence and fairness of the Justice Department when your predecessor, Donald Trump, repeatedly attacks it?
Because you notice, I have never once, not one single time, suggested to the Justice Department what they should do or not do relative to bringing a charge or not bringing a charge.
And yet here in his letter, he's claiming that this was a miscarriage of justice. However, in that same interview that he did, he was saying that Donald Trump should just accept the verdict that the jury made and not claim that there was some sort of bogus attack on him because he is Trump.
Saying this was a fix, this was a jury that this was a judge that set up to get Trump. There's no evidence of any of that. None. He's trying to undermine it. Look, he got a fair trial. The jury spoke like they speak in all cases, and it should be respected.
But this is the exact same claim that Joe is now using, as well as people on the left, like on The View, which we'll take a look at. They're all claiming that the only reason that Hunter Biden was being charged for any of this was because of his name and because he was a Biden.
He said, today I signed a pardon for my son, Hunter. From the day I took office, I said I would not interfere with the Justice Department's decision-making, and I kept my word, even as I watched my son being selectively and unfairly prosecuted.
And what we have seen, and not just us, there's other people who have commented on the president's actions in the last 24 hours. I've lost track of time, and could see that Hunter was singled out. And because his last name was Biden, because he was the president's son.
And, so pleased with the hypocritical pearl clutching by this country. Eric Holder, I think, said it really well. No U.S. attorney would have charged this case given the underlying facts that have been investigated for 5 years. Less than, get this, 0.09% of people are indicted, prosecuted, charged, and found guilty of lying on a gun form. The only reason that Hunter Biden was gone after and charged, indicted, and found guilty was because his name wasn't Joe Smith, it was Hunter Biden. And that's the truth of it. You've got Eric Holder saying it, you've got former prosecutors like myself saying it.
Now, I find it very interesting that Sonny's taking this position because many other lawyers, regardless of whatever side they're on, Democrat, Republican, have said the exact same thing about Trump and all his felonies. A lot of them are saying, where is the actual crime? Where's the felony? These are misdemeanors and we're turning them into felonies. And even individuals who don't actually like Trump, like Judge Judy, have also come out and said the same thing, saying, why are we wasting our time and our money on this? This is just a personal attack because they don't like Trump.
Donald Trump was indicted in 4 separate cases, and his legal strategy was pretty clear. He wanted to push all of the trials past the election. That kind of effort to just use procedural motions, whatever, is that the justice system working, or is it the justice system being manipulated?
I would be happier, as someone who owns property in Manhattan, if the district attorney of New York County would take care of criminals who are making it impossible for citizens to walk in the streets and use the subway, to use his efforts to keep those people off the street, than to spend $5 million or $10 million of taxpayers' money trying Donald Trump on this nonsense. That's my view. But I, as a taxpayer in this country, resent using the system for your own personal self-aggrandizement. Now, if you didn't know...
And that's what you think the DA did in Manhattan?
That's what I think. I mean, if you look, you had to twist yourself into a pretzel to figure out what the crime was. He doesn't like them.
And this is what we're seeing a lot more of. Rules for thee, not rules for me. And when Whoopi tries to defend it again, saying, well, he's a president, presidents can do what they want, they pardon who they want, we should have anticipated this with the long laundry list of reasons, even though Biden and his staff said over and over again that they weren't going to use the pardon for him. Alyssa, her co-host, even pointed this out and said it's the precedent of all this that is the issue, because regardless if it's Trump, Biden, whoever's in office next, or, in the future, this can be used against them. And Tulsi Gabbard actually brought this up on Joe Rogan's podcast, I think close to a year ago, saying this exact same point.
They want to kick off these court hearings the day before Super Tuesday. It's not an accident. This is all happening right now.
It's Banana Republic stuff.
It really is. And that's what they're doing is, again, these terrible things that are happening in our country are happening because we have people in power who care more about themselves and their power than they do about the people, this country, our Constitution, our democracy. They are setting this incredibly dangerous precedent that now, much like many banana republics in the world, whoever's in power has the ability to politicize and weaponize that power to go after their political opponent. That's the real. You take away whatever people think about Trump or whatever.
Right.
The consequences and implications of what is actually happening and what so many of the Democrat elite are justifying in the name of protecting democracy is actually destroying it.
And this is the problem with a lot of these loony lefties is they're so concerned about what Trump's going to do when he gets in power, yet their party is currently doing that to Trump. So they have their blinders on. They only see it one-sided. When Biden's doing it, it's he's the president. He's allowed to do it. But when Trump potentially could do it, he hasn't done it yet, but could potentially do something like that. Now they're all, oh, he's a dictator. It's the end of democracy. Yada yada yada. It just you can't make this stuff up. But as always, this is just my opinion. I'd love to hear from you guys. Let me know what you think about all this in the comment section below. I do apologize for the delay. As I mentioned, kids have been sick. They're a little bit on the mend now, so hopefully we'll get back to the videos. But as always, I will catch you guys on the next one. Thanks so much.